Peeing on walls. In India, there's a problem that sounds small but just won't go away: people peeing on walls. No matter how many warning signs, fines, or painted messages the city tried, nothing worked. The truth is, in crowded areas with too few public toilets, most people simply didn't feel bad about it. Then someone came up with a surprisingly simple but brilliant idea: use faith to help. Some local communities started painting images of Hindu gods like Lord Ganesha, Shiva, and goddess Parvati on the walls that people often used as public bathrooms. Because, of course, no one would dare to do something disrespectful in front of a sacred image. And it worked. Really well. Walls with god paintings stayed much cleaner than regular ones. In cities like Mumbai and Delhi, officials even reported that these murals helped reduce the problem by more than 70%. Major outlets like the Economic Times praised it as a perfect example of using culture instead of law. Soon the idea spread across the country. Some towns now even have volunteer artists who paint holy images just to protect the walls. Fake eyes. In southern Africa, farmers have a real problem: lions. Every year they sneak into villages and kill livestock, especially in Botswana, where farms sit right next to wildlife reserves. It's been a never-ending battle between people trying to protect their cattle and lions doing what lions do. Then in 2015, researchers from the University of New South Wales came up with a wild idea. If lions attack because their prey doesn't see them, what if the prey had eyes on the back of its head? They painted big, realistic eyes on the rear ends of some cows and left others untouched, then tracked what happened for 3 years. The result? The eye-painted cows were almost never attacked. Lions stayed away, as if spooked by the staring eyes. The study was published in Communications Biology, and soon Smithsonian Magazine and National Geographic were writing about it too, calling it a simple, cheap, and animal-friendly way to reduce attacks. Catch drones. When drones first became popular in Europe, they brought a new kind of problem. People were flying them near airports, military bases, even restricted zones, and the police had no idea how to stop them. That's when a Dutch company called Guard from Above came up with a crazy idea. What if we train eagles to catch drones? They used massive golden eagles and white-tailed eagles, training them to see drones as prey. During police tests, the birds swooped down, grabbed the drones midair, and carried them away safely. The results were so impressive that the French Air Force started their own eagle program at Mont-de-Marsan. Eventually, the project was phased out due to concerns for the bird's safety. Those spinning propellers can be dangerous, but the concept became famous worldwide. Cardboard cops. Everyone slows down when they see a cop, right? That's the psychology police in Calgary, Canada decided to use, without even needing real officers. They placed life-sized cardboard cutouts of policemen holding radar guns along accident-prone roads. From a distance, they looked completely real. Uniform, reflective vest, the whole deal. And guess what? Drivers slowed down immediately every time. The idea spread to small towns in the UK. Some even printed the real faces of their local officers on the cutouts to make them more recognizable. According to Global News, average driving speeds dropped by 10–20%, and there were fewer sudden brakes and near misses. They might not write tickets, but these cardboard cops work surprisingly well because people drive differently when they think someone's watching. The watching eyes. Psychologists found that humans have a funny instinct. When we think someone's watching us, we behave better, even if no one's actually there. At Newcastle University in the UK, researchers tested this by hanging a poster with a pair of staring eyes above a coffee donation box in a staff room. They compared it to weeks when the poster showed flowers instead. The result? When the eyes were up, people donated nearly 3 times more. Follow-up studies in Japan and Canada showed the same thing. Fake eyes on posters reduced littering and even made people return borrowed bikes. Now, you'll see those watching eyes stickers in real life, in cafeterias, vending areas, even public bike stations, subtly reminding people to do the right thing. Foam bricks. In some cities, even pedestrian crossings can feel like a gamble. Cars just don't stop. So, a group of urban designers in Vancouver decided to test an odd but clever idea called the Foam Brick Crosswalk Project. They placed boxes of foam bricks near crosswalks with a sign saying, "Please grab one while crossing." Sounds like a joke, right? But it worked. Drivers instinctively slowed down when they saw people carrying something that looked heavy or solid, even though it was just soft foam. According to Vancouver Sun, the experiment reduced average driving speed by more than 15%, and drivers stopped for pedestrians almost twice as often. 3D crosswalks. In 2016, a small town in northern India called Leh had a problem. Nobody stopped at crosswalks. So local officials decided to get creative. They painted 3D optical illusion crosswalks that looked like floating concrete blocks rising from the road. From a distance, it looked so real that drivers hit the brakes instantly. Within weeks, the average speed near those crossings dropped by 25%. The Times of India even featured the project. Soon, cities in China, Iceland, and other countries followed the trend, refining the design so they'd look perfect from a driver's perspective. Some critics worried about visibility at night, but the results spoke for themselves: fewer accidents, safer crossings, and one brilliant use of art for safety. Crocodile in the pothole. In Bangalore, India, potholes are everywhere. They've caused accidents, injuries, even deaths, but city officials kept promising to fix them soon. So in 2018, a local artist named Badal Nanjundaswamy decided to take matters into his own hands. He bought a life-sized fake crocodile made of fiberglass and placed it inside one of the biggest potholes downtown. He even decorated the edges to look like a real pond. The photos went viral within hours. News outlets like BBC and The Independent picked it up, and guess what? Within 2 days, the city rushed to fix that exact pothole. Since then, Badal has kept creating protest art. An astronaut walking on broken roads, a mermaid trapped in a crater, all reminders of how art can speak louder than complaints. Fake memorials. Across rural America, there are certain stretches of road where accidents just keep happening. Signs, speed cameras, warning lights, none of them work for long, so one small town in Nevada decided to try something else. They created fake roadside memorials with flowers, candles, a broken bicycle, and framed photos of victims who never existed. It sounds dark, but it worked shockingly well. Average driving speeds dropped by 25% within weeks. Researchers from the University of Minnesota found that emotional cues like grief trigger faster, deeper reactions than flashing lights ever could. The idea spread to other states like Colorado and Arizona, sparking debate about whether it's ethical, but no one can deny it saves lives. Playing cat sounds. In the cities of Nara and Kyoto, Japan, deer wandering into traffic had become a real problem. Nara's deer are considered sacred and are a huge tourist attraction. But as the city expanded and roads grew busier, more and more of them got hit by cars, sometimes every week. Researchers from the Nara Deer Preservation Center and Kyoto University came up with a strange but brilliant idea. Play recordings of cats to scare the deer away. Studies had shown that certain frequencies in a cat's growl mimic natural alarm calls in the wild, the kind of sound that tells animals danger is close. They installed devices along roadsides that played short, sharp cat growls at random intervals, and it worked. Deer would freeze or back away whenever they heard it. Within 6 months, road accidents involving deer dropped by about 40%. Japanese media reported that the technology is now being tested in Hokkaido as well, because it's cheap, safe, and harmless to animals, yet far more effective than building fences.